everybody. I'm Hillary Atkin from the Atkin Report, and I'm really excited to welcome Hueston from American Song Contest to this edition of Hillary's Happy Hour. Hueston, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Really good. You know, the premiere episode of the show was fantastic, and after you performed your song, Held On Too Long, the series premiere ended with you being voted through by the judges to the semifinals. So tell us about what that whole experience was like for you.
Yeah, that was crazy. So I was just, I just got off stage. Well, I'll give you I guess the rundown. My buddy Ryan Charles killed it. He went up there, new boot goofing. He got me all pumped up. I love that dude. We were backstage hugging each other like, yo, let's go, bro, let's do it. So he went on, he got me charged up. Then I went out, I did my thing. And then yeah, after it was like a blur, like it was so quick. Like all of a sudden I'm back on my thing and they're like, they're talking about whatever. So I did not think that it was gonna be me. I just, I kind of dropped my head and was like, hey, all right, cool. I thought it was, because to me, before the show, I mean, I had the least amount of followers, you know, the the least following too with my music. So it's just like I wasn't expecting people to be like, "Oh, here you go, it's you." So yeah, I was genuinely shocked.
Well, I think it was well deserved. So congratulations, Hueston.
Thank you, thank you.
But you shared the same stage with Michael Bolton, and you had said you grew up listening to his music and you were inspired by him. And then afterwards, he said you were a great singer, and he made a comparison to you as a cross between Adele and Chris Stapleton. What was your reaction to all that whole thing and Michael saying that about you?
Well, I heard about it, right? But the night of the red carpet, I was just doing my interviews, and then yesterday, uh, my buddy sent me the interview, and I mean, I cried. I mean, I literally started crying because I was just like, all the other stuff like was great, and also like Snoop too. My dad played Snoop's records over and over as a kid, so it's just like meeting him too. But also we're in the moment, so it's really hard to like. It's showtime. You don't feel those feelings yet. You're just kind of like, all right, I gotta go, 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 go. So being back home, was just chilling with some buddies. My brother, was tattooing my friend who's a tattoo artist. And yeah, we're just drinking some beers. My buddy sent it to me, and they look over at me and start welling up. I'm like, yo, I'm not crying. You're crying, bro. Stop looking at me, dude. But yeah, it cut through my heart. Cut through my heart because the stuff that he said was right, man. I never gave up. Number one, and number two is just like me. He said something about music is supposed to pull you, draw you in, and make you feel something. And
Right.
I grew up listening to his records as a kid, and that's exactly what his records did for me and for my mother and for a lot of people who, I mean, the world. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just truly humbled by the fact that he said that. And hey, Michael, if you're watching, bro, I love you and thank you so much for that. That really means a lot to me, man. It really does.
What an incredible feeling that must be for you. And also, Hueston, you are representing the state of Rhode Island, but you made it clear that you're from a different part of the state than many people may know about. So talk to me about your upbringing and how that influences your style of music.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, we grew up poor. We had no money. Uh, and my mom worked several jobs to keep a roof over our head. She had four sons, me being the youngest. Um, and I don't know, I just remember being a kid and, standing in a line at church to get like food donations for like a Christmas, and like, because we didn't have a Christmas dinner. We couldn't afford it, you know, because my mom had so much bills and she didn't have any help, you know. And also, I hear a lot of internet trolls talking about how North Kingstown ain't a real place. Well, hey, I will invite you to go to North Kingstown with me, and I'll take it. I'll take it where what I'm talking about. But sorry about that. I had to get that off my chest. But
That's
yeah, I mean, pain and music go together so perfectly. You know, they almost every great artist has went through some stuff, you know, and especially in a child, you know. Ray Charles, one of my favorite artists of all time. You know, the stuff he went through as a kid, you know, insane. You know, and you think about those stories and it's like my story was painful and I remember it. And it's not that it was painful the whole time. We had love, we had each other. That's all that mattered. You know, that's what my mother always told us. Hey, we got each other. We got what we need right now. And we're gonna be okay. So, you know, I don't know. That whole pain and that whole struggle really molded me. And I just there's a lot of people from that area who didn't make it to my age, you know, whether it was they got into drugs or they got into like gang violence or they went to prison or you know, it's like it's weird sometimes to even like think about the fact that I'm on this show and I'm getting all this success and I'm like pinching myself because I'm just like what how how this happened, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm
I'm
sure
humbled by it.
you have put in the work to get here, but I also wanted to hear about your role as the front man in the alternative duo, the Blancos.
Yeah, so that was my first touch of success, right? So we ended up getting signed. We got a big record deal. We got our songs and movies, all that, and it fell apart. You know, life happened. You know, and it it was working until it wasn't working anymore. You know, and for me, that whole situation really just crushed me. You know, and I was in a real bad way after that for like months and months. But during that time, I actually wrote this song, Held On to Him. I've had the song written for like 2 years, 3 years, you know. So again, the pain, the pain creates like it makes such great art. Um, and I don't think you can have art without pain. I really don't think you can. Um, so the pain of that situation really created what I am today. And I, you know, I thought that after the Broncos broke up, that people would just be like, okay, well, he's going solo and that's going to work. No, people were like, we're Broncos fans. Like, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And yeah, so I took a lot of time off. And I really just had to find myself because I put so much time and so much of myself into that project, into that group, and also into the relationships with the people in that group. And for that not to work out in the end, it's almost like going through a divorce. It's like it's so painful and it's so heart wrenching. But at the end, all you really want is just the best for them. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with that. I mean, I appreciate it. It's a part of my journey, and I think every step that you take and every failure you have leads you closer to the door that is success, you know?
Well, Houston, you are back now from that, and I agree with you that every experience along the way leads you to where you are now. And I want to wrap up our happy hour by lifting a glass to you and
Okay, sounds good.
your continued success on American Song Contest Monday nights on NBC.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me for happy hour.
Cheers.
Cheers.